What's good, Sheltron here, the most woke, no joke, and I'm back at it again with a brand new video, and I'm gonna keep it a Boberry biscuit. We need to start looking at quarterbacks, cause you know Cam might not stay 100% healthy. You know, there's play style, there's people just get hurt in general, and Derek Anderson wasn't the move for us, so you know we had to move on from him. So we have to look at quarterbacks in this draft, and we really can't afford to use one of our earlier picks on a quarterback. So we're looking at like round 5 through 7 backup caliber quarterbacks. Not really, I wouldn't say not really like franchise type quarterbacks, but players who can play solid and for like a 3 to 4, maybe a 5-week stretch if your starter gets like a minor injury, like a strain or something like that. So we're looking at people who can come in, have a solid run of the offense. Maybe we can make sure that our defense stays strong and that he can rely on the weapons we have around him. But we're looking at someone today by the name of Mike White out of Western Kentucky. Let's go ahead and go straight down to PIP real quick, and look at this man's stats. We're going to look at his combine numbers. They're not all too impressive, but looking at this guy's film, it's not too bad. So first off the bat, you have to see his 40 time is 5.09. That's not, I mean, it's not terrible. He's a non-mobile quarterback. So I'm not expecting any like 4.6, 4.7 speed out of my quarterback. It'd be cool to have a backup to Cam who has his kind of skill set, like a cheap Colin Kaepernick. I even said in an earlier video we can find right here, if you missed that we could probably try to get Johnny Manziel on a 1-year kind of cheap prove-it deal. And maybe if he works out for us, Cam can mentor him and get those demons of, you know, oh, Cam's not mature. Oh, Cam isn't a leader. Cam can't do this off his back. If he can be the one to mentor Johnny Manziel. But that's not why we're here today. We're here to talk about draft prospects at the quarterback position. So Mike White, he's not too bad. Conference USA, keep that in mind. He comes from he's a pitcher. He comes from a baseball background. And he thought he was going to be a pitcher because he was named a Louisville Slugger All-American, which is wild to me. And has a 90, I think in high school he had a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. So, I mean, this man can sling it in there, tight windows and everything. What I'm seeing, what I saw in this analysis is that he can throw it really nice with a nice spiral. But sometimes on his deep throws, and he has good touch, but sometimes he has good touch, and sometimes he can kind of duck it out there and leave a little bit of power out there on his lob balls, and causes his receivers to like slow down or turn around for the ball, or crossing routes where they should be coming in front of them, they have to come across their body behind them. And you can even see, if you're watching the highlights, that sometimes he'll have a wide open receiver on a post downfield, and they'll have to turn all the way around to catch the ball behind them, or slow down a bunch, and then they get tackled on what should be a wide open touchdown. That's not really my problem with him, because what you also have to understand is that sources, look at the sources tell us in the bottom line, that he really had no protection. He had no protection in Western Kentucky. And their O-line was horrible. So you really can't really blame a lot of that on him. I mean, if he comes to Carolina, he'll be doing with the kind of the same things, you know. But hopefully we just in the draft. But hopefully we can get this guy to keep his eyes up and have a little bit more confidence in his line and make a little bit smarter passes and whatnot, because I think he could be a really good addition to our offense after watching some of his highlight film. Now let's look at his stats. His freshman year, he's a USF. And sophomore year, but he didn't really have too great of stats there. I mean, sophomore year he had 122 completions, 50% completion rate, not that great, not good at all, honestly. 1,600 yards, but then he transferred over to Western Kentucky for his junior and senior year, and that's when he really started doing some work. He had a 67% completion rate. He had 4,300 yards his junior year there, 10 yards per average. I mean, that's not that bad, bro. 10 yards per attempt is really good. 37 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That'll get the job done. Keep in mind, he was in Conference USA and it's Western Kentucky, but it's still not bad. Then you have to think about this past year, he had 65% completion rate, really 68, but also threw another 4,000 yard season, 4,100 yards, with 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. So his touchdowns went down and his interceptions went up. But that's still not a bad year for him. Not a bad year for the guy. We can look at some of his awards, where he had the #1. He led the nation and pass completions, I mean, whether or not you want to respect his conference, that's still hard to do. That's still hard to do. There's still competition out there. He had the most pass attempts, which might have something to do with that as well. But that was in the CUSA though. Total yards per play, #1 in the whole nation. 9.6 total yards per play. I mean, that's kind of amazing, honestly, for this kid out of Western Kentucky. 6'4", 225, so he's a solid build, really tall. I think if we can get him to have confidence in his O-line and come and play with us and watch Cam a little bit, maybe we can get a little bit more mobility and be able to like learn about feeling pressure when it's coming and not feeling that phantom pressure and getting like too nervous and hearing footsteps in the pocket. Mike White really could be a good fit for us late in the late rounds. Maybe even he might even go undrafted. But it sounds like what they were saying was that his NFL comparison was Zach Mettenberger, which isn't that great, but maybe he can outperform his what's expected of him. But what do y'all think? Do you think Mike White will be a pretty good pickup for us? Do we pick up a quarterback here, or do we try to get someone in free agency and someone with a little bit more experience? Let me know in the comments below. You already know what to do, that like button. I got a button right here for you to subscribe and a button right here for you to watch more videos. Namaste. Y'all been killing it with the support, man. Y'all been killing the support lately, man. I can't say enough about you, man. I appreciate it. Back before you know it.